Hey there guys, if you've ever been interested in building a custom parrot stand or tabletop stand for your small animal but you just didn't know how, in this video I'm going to show you how to build a really simple basic stand that can be used for a lot of different applications, and that's going to be coming up. This is Jack over at Hi Redbird, where every single week we cover a different aspect of exotic animal care with the goal of making it more exciting, more affordable, and ultimately more enjoyable. Now in today's video I'm going to be showing you guys how to build a really simple and basic PVC parrot stand. As a professional animal caretaker, one of my favorite things to do is to build PVC toys and furniture for different animals. Not only can you build some really nice things, but they're also really easy to take apart, build in brand new and inventive ways, and PVC and fittings generally are pretty cheap. So we're going to go ahead and show you guys how to do that right now. Alright guys, now the pieces you're going to need to make this PVC parrot stand are relatively straightforward, and you can see them all in front of you right now. The first thing you're going to need is PVC pipe. Here I am using 3/4 inch Schedule 40 PVC pipe. I have 9 pieces pre-cut to 6 inches. You can do that for your build, or as we are building, I will show you how to customize it for your individual needs. Now the 3/4 inch refers to the diameter of the PVC pipe. 1 inch, 1.5 inch is going to be available, and it's going to be a much thicker pipe. You can also easily find down to 1/2 inch PVC pipe, something a little bit smaller. The Schedule 40 is going to refer to the weight or the thickness of the pipe. Schedule 40 is a very nice, very strong pipe. When used in plumbing applications, it is built for pressurized water systems, so it is a much stronger PVC pipe. It is what I recommend in this situation, and it's very easily available. You can find it at most hardware stores. Now that's going to be different compared to Schedule 20 PVC pipe, which unfortunately is also readily available at most hardware stores. But as you can see, it is a much thinner pipe. The wall is very thin, and the problem with the Schedule 20 PVC pipe is that it has a tendency to break into very small, very sharp pieces. Now that obviously could pose a safety hazard for your bird, not something we want to happen. If the Schedule 20 pipe breaks, it breaks into very small, sharp pieces. If the Schedule 40 pipe breaks, it tends to crack but not break into very small pieces, which would give you time to change out the pipe. Say you stepped on it or anything like that and damaged it, you'd be able to fix that. Your bird alone on the Schedule 40 PVC pipe should not be able to break it on their own. So that is why I recommend Schedule 40 PVC pipe. Another thing you're going to want to avoid, you might see Schedule 40 cell core or foam core PVC pipe. That's sometimes available at hardware stores. It has a filler inside it, so while it is as thick, it's not plastic all the way through. Again, not something I would recommend. The cell core or the foam core PVC pipe is also not made for pressurized water systems. So regular Schedule 40 PVC pipe is what I recommend if you're having difficulty determining what type of pipe it is. Most of the information is going to be written on it, but you can always ask someone at your local hardware store to help you out with that. Now you're also going to be needing PVC fittings. Here I have 6 3/4 inch PVC elbows and 2 3/4 inch PVC T fittings. Those are the fittings you're going to need. But if you want to modify your stand, this is where you can do that. If you want to go with 1/2 inch PVC pipe for a smaller bird, something like a lovebird, a cockatiel, you can do that. You're just wanting to get the corresponding PVC fittings as well. Of course, if you have a larger bird, something like a macaw or a large cockatoo, you could go up to 1 inch PVC pipe, but you would need the 1 inch PVC fittings as well. Now the next thing you're going to need is some way to cut your PVC pipe. Here I have a ratcheting PVC cutter. These are probably the greatest things there are when it comes to cutting PVC pipe. They can be found at hardware stores and are usually no more than $10 to $15. If you are going to be doing a lot of work with PVC pipe, building stands, play stands, toys, I highly recommend the ratcheting PVC cutters. Now if this is going to be a one-time build for you, something like a hacksaw is going to be able to cut through the PVC pipe. I've seen hack stores available at certain dollar stores, and they are certainly strong enough to cut through the PVC to do this stand. The only thing you're going to want to keep in mind, it will take a decent amount of more work, and you are going to have to clean up the edges because a hacksaw tends to leave very fine pieces of plastic all along the edges, whereas the PVC cutters, as you can see, leave a very straight, very clean edge. Now you're going to need a marker or some manner of marking your PVC pipe. You're also going to need a tape measure if you want exact measurements. Now those aren't necessarily important. The most important thing when building this is that all of the pieces are relative to each other. So as we are building this, we'll show you how to do that. Now for finishing this stand, we're also going to be using some vet wrap. Vet wrap is a bandage that does not have any adhesives on it, but it does stick to itself. You can find that at most pet stores, you can find it at feed stores, and it is a wonderful way to provide texture and grip to the top of the perch. That way your bird isn't slipping and sliding around. And the nice thing about it, if it ever gets dirty, you cut it off, you replace it, all of a sudden your perch is brand new and very, very clean. With birds, maintaining that cleanliness is a very important factor. And the last thing you're going to need are going to be some scissors. All right, guys, now the construction of this stand is going to be pretty straightforward. The first thing you're going to want to do is determine the width of your perch. This is why I say that the measurements aren't really that important. You can pretty much just eyeball it, whatever you think is going to work best for your animal. Like I said before, I am using a 6-inch piece of PVC pipe. That's going to be a pretty good size for most birds. Of course, something like a lovebird or a cockatiel is going to be able to move easily back and forth on the perch. They'll be able to turn around very easily. Something like a large macaw or a cockatoo, they'll pretty much just be able to stand on it. They won't really be able to turn around. You may want to make it a little bit bigger, but again, it's going to depend on your application. If you're just making something like a basic tabletop stand, you want your bird to be able to go with you, but not have all the movement in the world, you may want to go with something like this. Now you're going to have one piece for the perch. You're also going to cut 2 pieces the exact same size. Again, you don't have to measure them, just make sure they're all the same size. Eyeball your first piece and then use it as a template to mark on your pipe to cut 2 pieces the exact same size. These will be used as supports. We'll use them at the very end, but we'll go ahead and put them to the side for now. Once you have the piece that will be your perch, what you want to do is take 2 of your elbow fittings and add those on either side of it, facing the same direction. I'm just going to push them into place by hand. That's going to make it pretty sturdy. Next thing you're going to need to do is you're going to need to determine the height of your perch. How high off the table, counter, wherever you're going to put it, how high that will be. Again, I am using 2 6-inch pieces. Those are going to be a pretty good height. I'm just going to slip those into both of those elbows. Now that's basically going to give you an idea of what our perch is starting to look like. At 6 inches tall, that's going to be a pretty good size, but again, something like a large macaw is going to have a lot of reach with their beak. They might be able to even get down to whatever table they are on. Decide if that's what you want them to do. You may want to make this a little bit taller, but you need those 2 pieces to be the height of the perch. From there, you are going to take the 2 T pieces and slip those on either side. At this point, the stand will pretty much stand up on its own, but it can be pretty wobbly. Of course, if you have a bird that is flapping around, anything like that, they would be able to tip this right over. So the last pieces you're going to need to determine, your main support pieces that go on either side of these T. Again, none of these measurements matter, but what you want to make sure is that these 2 pieces or these 2 pieces on either side at least add up to the measurement of your height. Now, since I have 6-inch pieces as the height of my perch, I would want to go with something that is at least 3 inches on either side. That will give me a total of the 6 inches of pipe, plus the T's and elbows, just to make sure it is really nice and sturdy. However, just to make sure this is incredibly sturdy, there's no risk of this tipping over again, I'm going to be using these 6-inch pieces. So like I said, all of the pieces that I have are using today are 6-inch pieces of PVC pipe. You can make a really nice, really sturdy stand just using that 6-inch PVC pipe. Now you can see some of the pieces are a little bit You might end up with something that looks a little bit like that. That might not be so stable. It might not be the most aesthetically pleasing either, which is why we are going to use those two pieces that we had for our perches. Again, we're going to slip the elbows on either side, just like we did with our perch piece. So there's one of those right there. Do a second one of those. And one of these will go on either side. Now what these are going to do, they are going to completely square up our perch. So once I slip this on, obviously I have to rotate that to get it into place. The same thing on this side. And then once you squeeze everything into place, you can see it is very, very square, very, very easy to put together and have a very nice, sturdy perch. Now, at this point, if you have not already, you're going to want to wash this. This did come from the hardware store. We don't know exactly what it has been exposed to. You can just use soap and water. One of the things I like to do is when I have the pre-cut pieces, I will go ahead and put them just in the top shelf of the dishwasher. It makes it very, very easy to keep completely clean. It's probably decently clean, but we just want to play safe with our animals. I mean, it's a pretty cheap perch. Spending an hour putting it through the dishwasher really isn't going to be anything too difficult to do. Now the final step, this is going to be the perch where your bird is sitting, and as you can see, it is a little bit slick. So what we're going to do is take the vet wrap. We're going to go ahead. You want to get at least one good wrap where it can grab itself, and then just work it down the end of your perch. Once you have enough of that in place, go ahead and cut it. It does stick to itself, but what you may want to do, you see how this little end is hold up right there. Just wrap it around and give it one good squeeze. Now the really nice thing about this is if your bird starts to make a mess out of this, you can go ahead, just cut it off, replace it. It's really, really easy to keep nice and clean. Now with this perch, you are going to want to watch out for if your bird's nails are getting caught on this. Your bird may need a nail trim. If your bird is picking at this vet wrap with its beak, if it's starting to eat it, that is problematic. You may want to look at another solution for texturizing the top of this perch, but for most birds, this works really, really well. All right, guys, and that is really all there is to this really simple display stand. Like you've seen, you can build this stand in about 5 to 10 minutes. You can easily customize it for whatever your application may be, depending on your animal and what you want to do with it. Now, I've been calling this a parrot stand, but something like this could easily work really well for, say, arboreal snakes. You could put this in their enclosure, give them something to climb on. They can grip to this, but it's still really easy to clean, which is a benefit when it comes to dealing with animals. Now, you can also use this to, say, put it on a side table. You can interact with your parrot while you're sitting on a couch watching TV, which is a really good way to interact with your animal on a daily basis. Now, one recommendation I do have for this, most animals don't like scales. You can use a stand like this, put it on the scale, zero out the weight of the stand, and then get consistent weights on your animal. This is going to be a really good way to ensure their overall health. So my question of the day for you guys, if you decide to build something like this, what animal are you building it for, and what, if any, modifications did you feel you needed to make it the most useful? Go ahead and leave your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you like this video, go ahead and like and subscribe. We will be posting up new videos every single week. So until then, thank you guys for watching, and we hope you guys have the best day ever.